You know, I could be playing a video game right now. It's like sometime past midnight. But you know what? I just love you guys all so much. I might as well go ahead and drop this sucker whenever I really don't have the time to actually do it. So hey, let's break it down. Hey, it's a whole bunch of defense-related shenanigan horseshit that's just really not fun to fight and is really just a slog and is annoying as hell. But hey, Ocean Breeze Luluca, ae-KARINA, and a Navy Captain Landy. Well, biggest threat here happens to be that Navy Captain, especially because in retrospect, right here, yo, this Navy Captain ain't got no fucking HP. So I have to assume it's either gear gapping and it's a horribly geared Navy Captain Landy, or this was a thermonuclear fucking time bomb. And if it was able to get hits off, more than likely would have killed like my Iseria on turn 1 if any Elbrus salvos procced. Who knows? Whatever. The good news is, we pretty much use Iseria and Destina in this way that, hey, we go first with Iseria, we'll reset Dark Corvus, and then because we actually speed-tuned our team, I know, I'm fucking retarded how long it took me to actually do that shit. But either way, the way at which it's going to go is, even if I'm going to be hit by Ocean Breeze Luluca horseshit, which is more than likely going to happen because of non-attack skill from Iseria, then whenever she goes, our very next person who's going to go is going to be Destina. So then she cleanses Dark Corvus, and then you straight up just kill the unit that gives you affliction. So, now the Navy Captain Landy's out of the game, pretty much, we're just going to bide our time until we get the opportunity to kill another unit. And straight up, I have already had an opportunity to go into this ae-KARINA. I have applied a debuff, like unbuffable, as well as a defense down, and I'm going to go ahead and kill your unit who's going to cleanse you. Here goes Ocean Breeze Luluca. So hey, ae-KARINA, I'm going to rub some fucking dirt in your eye. Feels fucking good, doesn't it? You just don't get any buffs at all. Fucking bitch. So either way, now that we've dealt with like 2 annoying ass units, all that's left is ae-KARINA. She is doing next to no fucking damage because she has Death Break on her, as well as unbuffable, so hey, no barriers either. So, I mean, hey, look at that. Death Broken and it barely did like 3k damage. Boy howdy, it's almost like this whole fucking mechanic and revolving around ae-KARINA and the defense-related damage is kind of retarded or something. Which is why we're all really, really hyped for all these new units that have been getting all these death-piercing shenanigans. Something that actually needs to be looked at with extreme care, by the way, because the last time they straight up didn't give a fuck about that, Hwei Young came into the game, and she utterly fucking destroyed it for over 3 months. But either way, that's a rant for another time that's probably never going to happen because I'm fucking lazy. Hey, we have cooldown reduction. We have Devil's Descent, go into ae-KARINA, bitch is dead. Let's move on. And now, onto a really, really old-ass team. This is a team that is ancient as shit. It is a Choux Senya team with a Conqueror Lilias. Now, the only things that are different about this is instead of Conqueror Lilias, sometimes you can see Lua. I don't recall immediately off the top of my head other units that this could be. I don't recall if I've ever seen a regular Lilias instead of a Conqueror Lilias into this. But either way, the big thing in general is, if you just throw Shadow Knight Pyllis, Silvertide Christy, and Roana at this, quite literally, from the very start of this whole fight, guys, I ain't fucking with you. I just auto this entire experience. There's nothing that's scary. Absolutely nothing is a threat. In case in point, I'm going to prove it to you now. Because the optimal way you're supposed to go through these is you have to kill your one actual, like, lose condition. The one lose condition is Choux. If Choux just goes rip-roaring fucking wild and just beats the ever-loving shit out of you with S1, S2 follow-ups and things of that nature, it is quite literally the only thing that can fucking stop you. But because of just how Shadow Knight Pyllis works, any and all counterattacks, any and all additional attacks, you know, additional fucking horseshit that Roana also happens to heal, by the way, on that said turn, that damage is reduced. So, what that basically means is, anytime the oh-so-wonderful shenanigans go off, you're straight up taking almost no fucking damage. So, the way in which we used to fight this back in the day, before Shadow Knight Pyllis got basic fucking buffs that should have affected her but only affected the team, was go into Choux and then fucking pray. Because that was literally the only way you could lose. Anytime she were to react with S1, S2 follow-ups, because she has Death Piercing. Oh, hey! It's almost like we were just talking about shit like that just a little while ago. The fact that, like, Death Pin in this game is fucking retarded. Odd, that. But yeah, that's basically what you're fighting here. But now that, like, you know, we've got the version of Shadow Knight Pyllis that we have now, there's quite literally nothing to fear. As well as the fact that instead of a Conqueror Lilias, let's just say we were fighting Lua. If we were fighting Lua, well, guess what? Because we have Silvertide Christy with us as well, and I also happen to be rocking a 150 ER build Shadow Knight Pyllis, we're going to also add 100 ER to that, as well as an additional 60. That's a metric fucking shitload of ER that is more than likely not going to be touched unless you're going into an F monster. And even if it is an F monster, you're still a fucking tanky bitch. So you're more than likely going to survive some shenanigans. Worst thing that can really happen to you is like, oh hey, let's say the Lua goes into your Shadow Knight Pyllis. Because you have 2 green units here, she's the only unit she's going to hit. You might get hit with things like Death Down. But, once again, if you don't get reset or straight up you have enough ER, quite literally nothing to worry about. And that's basically the brunt of this match. A whole bunch of, like no fucking shit. We auto the whole thing to really just kind of prove a point. And I've done this before in the past. I've enjoyed doing it in the past. But I mean, of course, it does kind of make it a little frustrating whenever you go into shit like this and just how long it kind of takes. Like, I think we end up taking somewhere in the ballpark of around 50-ish turns. Not as bad as some other stuff that you could do, but of course, the big factor that does make this shit ultimately work is that oh-so-wonderful fucking collab artifact that is on Shadow Knight Pyllis called Rocket Punch. Boy fucking howdy. Do you not wish there was just another artifact into the game that was a copy of collab artifacts? Looking at you, Rocket Punch. Looking at you, fucking Benimaru's Taichi. Because a lot of other collab artifacts ain't worth fucking shit. It's really kind of baffling how fucked a lot of the balancing is on several collab artifacts. Fuck collabs, man. Fuck limiteds, too, for that matter. I hate that shit. It just, especially because they are often released in a very mid format. Oh, hey, cool, we're done. Time for the next fight. So, like, right up here, I'm fighting a Zio, a Lionheart Cermia, and a Lua. Oh no, it's Lua, the most brokenest fucking character ever. And yeah, she kinda is. I'm not fucking denying that. Lua is absolutely fucking stupid and does not even deserve to be in the place that she is, in terms of the crazy fucking shit that she can do, and the fact that she's a ranger and has access to Guiding Light, one of the most busted fucking artifacts in the entire fucking game. Another limited artifact, by the way. But either way, all we had to do was just bring, okay, we have Shadow Knight Pyllis, we have Roana. Okay, cool. We're pretty much, hunky-dory in terms of tanking damage and healing damage because Zio is the only means of doing additional damage. That's going to be a heal, and it's also going to be reduced damage with Shadow Knight Pyllis. We're going to try our best to have the only 2 units who receive his damage be Shadow Knight Pyllis or Elvira. And speaking of Elvira, we have Elvira here basically to make Lionheart Cermia quite literally fucking useless. Because after we went into her on our first chance to see if we could actually land a Death Break so that we could, start to try and kill her, because she's the only real lose condition if Elvira goes down, and then, you get a dual attack, or you get a counter attack, or any of that other fucking dumb shit. And then, let's just say, what if this Lionheart Cermia was built like a fucking nuke? That's like your only real lose condition. But you guys probably saw me right there where I just changed targets. Well, that's because Elvira put fucking Beguile on everybody. And now because Beguile's there, well, guess what? Lua just fucking killed Zio. It's like a complete reverse of the actual story. Except, who fucking knows? I didn't read Episode 4. Episode 4 was trash as shit. Like, not even fucking kidding. I didn't read a fucking goddamn word of that shit. Like, straight up, the ending had fucking Zahhak die off screen. And Zahhak was essentially like Itachi. Fucking master plans like, hey, I have like all these backups to fucking deal with a whole bunch of dumb shit, but I was actually good the whole time, but I made you think that I was evil. And then I straight up take away all of the redemption that the character could have had by dying off screen. Who the fuck thought that was a good idea? Who in their right fucking mind thought that was a good idea? But either way, guess what? It happened again. Good old Beguile goes through, and then because Lua takes a turn and the other units had Beguile, or, well, she had Beguile, then the Lionheart Cermia dies. Yay! Now all that's left is Lua. Another character who is fucking terrible, man. Everything from Episode 4 was ass. Episode 4 came out, fucking OG Huayang was in the game. Literally broke the game for like 3 fucking months until they had to nerf her. And You know what? No, not even going to talk about it. Fuck episode 4. We're done. Let's move on. Now, right here is another match where I actually made somewhat of a miscalculation, or it's just the fact that, like, hey, my speed gear's mid as fuck. Hey, that's just how I am. So it's an Ahmed, a Straze, and then also a Zahhak. The big thing in general was I was trying to take advantage of who was going to be the fastest here. I was not expecting the Straze was going to go first, or it was going to be the Zahhak that was going to go first. Had no fucking clue. I was actually really hoping that Benimaru was going to cut in front right after the first thing that Ahmed does, because whenever an extra turn happens, he boosts up by like what 50 fucking % or some shit CR. Turns out, hey, wasn't fast enough. Hey, that's just how it is. But either way, the good news is we have Spirit Celine with us. Spirit Celine is straight up there just for like the anchor. She's the anchor of the team. And as long as I can survive that first real burst, which is why Moon Bunny was there to give the skill nulls, because we have 2 DPS going into a random unit. If both of those units were to go into Spirit Celine and I did not have a form of protection, that's your means of losing. Now, thankfully for us, okay, cool, we were able to tank one of those hits, and right here, it's a matter of, I kind of forgot that Zahhak gives himself invincibility. So I was like, well, fuck. So basically what's going to happen here is Benimaru is going to do a lot of damage. He actually fucking kills the Ahmed because he hits it. But then Zahhak goes. He's going to go for whoever has the lowest HP. That's going to be Moon Bunny. And right here, even though like he could have gone into anybody, it doesn't really matter. I straight up did not have the means of using the S3 again on Spirit Celine. Oh well, we lost Moon Bunny. Hopefully we don't have to fight in the extra turn shenanigans anymore. Oh, look, extra turn shenanigans. However, the good news is we have a whole bunch of other power corrupt horse shit that's just going to fight it and do extremely well, and we don't even fucking need Moon Bunny. Case in point, we'll go ahead and we'll use Laia. There is no reason to even remotely assume that there is any injury whatsoever on this team. So let's just bring Destina, Laia, and then something to just stop the Lionheart if we were to ever get a dual attack or any of that other fucking dumb bullshit. So we don't have to worry about any like thermonuclear fucking bombs going off just in case the Lionheart is built like a thermonuclear bomb. So we'll go into her and hey, we're hunky-dory. So the big thing that we're going to try and do is the one thing that could be of a concern is, yeah, like right here, Elvira, if she didn't have immortality, would be fucking dead. So the only thing that can really go wrong is Senya will eventually go into Elvira, and I essentially have 3 turns on Elvira to get the kills on the units that I need to do before she actually dies. Good news is, Laia's kind of fucking broken. We're quite literally one more turn away, because as soon as we get one more turn, we'll have access to S3. And with S3, well, guess what, boys and girls? I don't really give a fuck if you have Escort on the field. When we soul burn the S3 on Laia, it's probably gonna fucking kill these units. Like, it's either going to kill, or it's going to do so much fucking damage that I just don't care, because the lose condition is if Lionheart Cermia stays on the field, and the Elvira goes down. So, because we just went into Lionheart, alright, cool, they did 15k, and it did a fucking shitload of damage to the Peira because she lost her barrier due to oh-so-wonderful Elvira shenanigans. Cool. The match is already won, because that was the only lose condition. Now it's like, oh, but aren't you still worried that, like, Senya's just gonna go into Elvira and kill her? No. No, I'm not worried in the slightest. The main reason as to why is because your Laia isn't going to go rip-roar and fucking insane and kill stuff outside of your actual control. She just isn't. You always have the option to use the S3, and then you also have the option to use Laia as a support unit because her S2 is actually fucking giga-cracked. Just the mere fact that it does cooldown reduction on your team is fucking insane. And then it's also a complete cleanse, and it's a CR booster. So it's like, and then also, you have fucking dual attacks on your S1. I think you don't have access to dual attacks if your S3 is available, but hey, whatever. You're not doing this stuff for damage in case something were to go wrong. So hey, let's go in. Oh no, we didn't kill the Senya, but she has like fucking less than a fucking thimble of HP left. So straight up, Elvira goes in, kills her right there. And now all you have left is Peira. And yeah, Peira could actually go in and kill Elvira. If she were to land a bunch of those Dust Devils, and if she had just a little bit more damage on her. But fortunately for us, that doesn't fucking happen. So we'll just go in and let's do some real disrespectful shit, because Elvira, whenever going into a unit that's almost dead, does next to no fucking damage, and we actually were able to kill with it. And now, onto the final match. So, one thing in particular is, this is kind of an interesting fight, except for the fact that Aria actually makes it free. So, we actually see Angel of Light Angelica on the field, and because we're going to be rocking a lot of ER shenanigans onto our Shadow Knight Pyllis, we're more than likely okay. The only unit who's even really affected is Roana, and honestly, I kind of don't give a shit. You could honestly keep Roana silenced the entire fucking match, because her healing battery is actually Aria. I'll go ahead and I'll show you. We have 2 green units and 1 unit that is not green. Everyone, when by everyone I mean Aria and Angel of Light Angelica, are going to be going into Shadow Knight Pyllis. Shadow Knight Pyllis, every time she is hit, whenever she is hit 4 times, gives the entire fucking team death buff. And that also increases your damage, because Rocket Punch is an incredibly stupid fucking artifact. So, as soon as we really start moving, and then we have the opportunity to actually hit the Angel of Light, because, like, straight up, this is the reason why I put this on auto, is because I quite literally can't make any actions. I can't do anything other than hit Aria. But you'll just straight up see it. Every counterattack that goes in, that hits 2 units. That makes Vigilant Eye heal even more, instead of hitting 1 unit. And then every now and then, whenever you get the big S2 animation from Aria, that just heals even more than the regular counterattacks. Straight up, this team absolutely 100% cannot kill me. The most annoying thing that can happen here is, oh, Angel of Light Angelica can do some strips, Angel of Light Angelica can do some unbuffables, and she can do some silences. But if you have the effect resist to really back it up, she is quite literally just a unit that fucking stands there and just annoys the ever-loving shit out of you. So, whenever you see the opportunity, okay, cool. Now she's dead. And hey, looky there, Zio no longer has Deify, because it's been a fair number of turns. So now, we can actually just go into him, and whenever Zio doesn't have Deify, he will quite literally die in about 2 or so hits. So, like, I think 2 hits from our Shadow Knight Pyllis will actually kill him. Because, straight up, Aria is a really, really good unit. But it feels like Aria does actually need some form of a buff. I would just be afraid to apply a buff to her, because I'm afraid it would actually be a little too ridiculous. Because she has 2 forms of, like, counterplay that you can use against Aria, and it's actually fucking devastating, and it destroys the team. 1, you can make Aria's focus just straight up not work with any units that either have resource reduction or Solitary of the Snow. This straight up makes it so that she will never do her S3 ever. She will only do counterattacks to you. But if you straight up want to just, like, shit on Aria even further, just throw Roana on the team. You throw Roana on the team, and quite literally, she is healing you more than the damage output that's going into you. It's kind of fucking depressing. And it's one of the biggest things that does kind of infuriate me about the game, in terms of, like, hey, what Soul Weavers do you actually use for the sole purpose of actually healing a unit? And honestly, they ain't nobody better than Roana. Roana's healing just from counterattacks and Vigilant Eye procs is so much better than any other traditional Soul Weaver that actually does big bulky heals. She beats them every fucking time. It's ridiculous. And ladies and gentlemen, that was the GuildWar. To those of you astute, you probably realized that I fast-forwarded through some of that, because quite literally there was nothing to fucking talk about. But either way, boys, that's it. So hey, let me go ahead and break down a few things real quick. 1, I am going to be gone for the weekend. So that means there's not going to be a GuildWar on Friday. There is not going to be anything on Saturday. There might be something on Sunday. It depends on what footage I'm able to procure for Friday. Who knows? I may or may not. We'll fucking see. Because the big thing is, I'm going on fucking vacation. I need a fucking, like, 4-day vacation, go down somewhere, get something to eat, hang out with friends, play other fucking video games. I've been missing out on this vacation for well over 2 fucking months. And, goddammit, I fucking need it. But either way. The other thing in particular is, yeah, we didn't really talk about any of the buffs and stuff because quite literally this was recorded on Wednesday and the buffs have not fucking hit yet. So we'll deal with that probably Monday whenever we eventually get to really play with them. And another thing, Janua, I'm hype as fuck for him, but I've already lost the amount of time to talk about him because I'm bad at time management. Hey, guys, like the video and subscribe or something. Ah!